Within ownership, there's a range of ownerships you need to be able to explain, analyse and also evaluate at AS. The two here we're going to look at to start with is sole trader and partnership. Sole trader is when there is only one person who solely owns that business and controls it. And it's a very common form of ownership. Key points you really need to know with this is your benefits and drawbacks of it. One big advantage of being a sole trader is that you get to keep all the profits. And then when you're analysing that, you could be saying, like, this means you can decide how to reinvest them, or you can keep them, the profits, as a reward for hard work, taking the initial risk with your savings, maybe giving up your job to invest in the business, working the long hours and that, so you don't have to share them with anyone else. Don't be afraid to compare then, like, unlike partnership or unlike private limited company, that is a big advantage of being a sole trader. Another big advantage is you do get to make all the key decisions. You don't have to consult anyone else if you don't wish to, and that means that you can make decisions quickly, and therefore seizing opportunities that can help expansion in that. You get to run the business how you want to, and you don't lose that control as you're the only owner, again compared to other forms of ownership. You also get, and a key advantage, financial privacy. So unlike companies, private and public, you don't have to publish your accounts to members of the public, to Companies House. So that means you get more privacy compared to those other businesses. So no competitors, for example, can see your accounts of that and maybe gain vital information about your business that you don't want them to know. And there are your three core benefits of being a sole trader. Issues though with it, big issue is unlimited liability. That means that if you go into debt, bankruptcy, you could lose your personal possessions, your car, for example, your house. So it carries much more risk compared to if you were a private limited company. So you could lose your assets to pay back that debt. The other big drawback, you don't have anyone else to kind of fall to. You do get to make all the decisions and all yourself in full control, but you don't have any other owners or partners that you can consult with decisions to make a call on it. You might have the specialised skills needed, for example, in accounts or marketing, whatever it is. And that could mean you have to hire people to do that. You could actually end up making incorrect decisions because you don't have those skills, compared to maybe other forms of ownership like partnership or companies. So that can be a big risk too. The other thing also within that is because there is only you're limited in the capital you can raise. Banks mightn't lend you as they could see as very risky. So capital also is a big issue with being a sole trader. And that can hold the business back. You could have, for example, a lack of economies of scale in that compared to partnerships or private limited companies and public limited companies and franchising, and that can limit growth coming through. You might be able to gain a competitive advantage in the market as well. The sole trader could range from a 4 mark right up to an 18 evaluation. Another form of ownership which is common is partnerships. Partnerships have between 2 and 20 partners, very common in the likes of dentists, accountancy and that too. Most common partnerships still have unlimited liability, so you don't overcome that by going from sole trader to partnership. But with regards to companies, you will overcome that. There are other forms of partnerships like limited partnerships and things, just be aware of those. That is where you do have limited liability, but they're very rare to find. You should have a deed of partnership drew up so that you can settle disputes quickly. And if there are any issues, the deed of partnership should be able to clarify that. For example, hours worked, how much profits you should receive, how much is invested in. If there is no partnership agreement or deed of partnership, then you have to refer to the Partnership Act of 1890. You don't need to know the year, but that'll then guide you. It's usually then split equally, profits, losses, decisions and things. So it's better to have the deed of partnership and that agreed on. Big benefit of becoming a partnership is that you can raise more capital. You have between 2 to 20 owners or partners, and that can mean you can gain like economies of scale. Banks are more likely to lend to you because you're seen as less risky, and there's more people to fall on if the debts can't be repaid, so there's more chance of getting those debts repaid. Obviously all that more investment can help you then grow, expand, gain a competitive advantage. For example, even to purchasing economies of scale, financial economies of scale, you've made more money to invest in technology, so technical economies of scale. The other big thing is decision making should be more effective because you've more people to consult, specialist knowledge and skills coming from each partner possibly, and that can make better quality decisions, less chance of making mistakes, develop your reputation. The other big thing is that those partners can share the workload with you, so there's less maybe pressure compared to being a sole trader. You can take maybe a bit more time off from that if you're a partnership because you have other partners to fall back on, and that can be really good to have. Now, issues though with this, big issue is you have to share the profits now compared to being a sole trader, and that could if you were original owner on your own and now you have to share it, it's an issue. It could mean less profit then to reinvest back in because you have more people to share it out to. Some partners might want to share it out, they might want to reinvest, others might want the profit in return at the end of each year, so there can be a bit of conflict coming from that. Decision making can be much slower because you are consulting other partners, and again that can mean missing out on opportunities, loss of competitive advantage. Conflict can come into that too, because people could have different objectives, different beliefs in how they believe the business should be run. Still, a big drawback of being a partnership is the unlimited liability. Partners, if the business goes into debt, they have to repay that, the bankruptcy, they have to lose maybe their personal possessions, and that's what's still seen as a very risky form of ownership if it's just a general partnership. And the personal liability then is a worry, especially when you're now sharing responsibility with other partners that you mightn't know well, so you have to be able to trust them, but you maybe can't always do that. However, even when you have unlimited liability, it might push the partners on to work as hard as possible to make the profit, and the same with sole trader. So it can be a good motivator to ensure you don't go into debt, which is sometimes good as well. So that's the kind of key parts with it.